Hi, I'm Kat and today I have for you a true crime case. I will also be doing my makeup at the same time and I also have a word in Romanian for you. Now, all I want to say is don't worry about what I have here. I think that this is because of my tooth extraction for some reason, because the next day after I got my tooth out, this popped up, so yeah, I guess I'll have to work around it a bit. Okay, so the word for today is prieten. 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 Well done, guys, you just said boyfriend. Today's video was actually suggested by Samantha, one of my long time YouTube subscribers and followers. So thank you so much, Samantha, for suggesting this. Jasmine was last seen on CCTV leaving her mother's home on the evening of November 22nd, 2022. So just last year. But the thing is that her family never heard from her again. Although it was quite unusual for Jasmine not being in contact with her family, they were not too worried at first, believing that she left to grieve privately at the recent death of a relative. Jasmine Pace, who was born on May 29, 2000, was a Chattanooga, Tennessee native who attended the Chattanooga State Community College. She is described by her loved ones as being generous, thoughtful, supportive, a devoted aunt and godmother. So now, before we move forward with this, I just want to point out here that this case is very much ongoing, so everything that I'm saying in today's video is alleged and all the information that I found are from online articles, so I just want to get that out there. 22-year-old Jasmine, or Jazzy as she was known as well, was also an animal lover, and she actually had 4 cats of her own whom she loved as if they were her own children. Katrina described her daughter as having been the biggest and best part of her. Whilst at first Katrina Pace, her mother, was not too worried, having not heard from her, as time went on, however, she became quite unsettled and stressed out. So she decided to track Jasmine's car, her Chevrolet Equinox, using an app called My Chevy app. On November 23rd, Jasmine had texted her location to her mother Katrina using a pin drop. So when checking the app and retracing Jasmine's steps, Katrina and her husband found themselves at the location of the Signal View condominium complex at 900 Mountain Creek Road. That's where they found Jasmine's car abandoned nearby. I suppose growing quite suspicious of this and also worried at the same time, since Jasmine was nowhere to be found, both Katrina and her husband Scott Bean took it upon themselves to speak with some of the neighbors in the condominium, and they found out that Jasmine's boyfriend Jason Chen lived there. The neighbors also heard shouting coming from Jason's apartment at around 2 a.m. on the morning of November 23rd. So obviously Katrina went to the apartment looking for her daughter, just to find the door unlocked and the apartment was empty and very clean. They had a look around, and that's when Katrina discovered Jasmine's credit cards and her driver's license. By this point, I guess you can understand, it doesn't look good, right? Something is just off. So Jasmine Pace was reported missing on November 26. Katrina called 911 when she found the car and told them that Jasmine shared her location with her on November 23rd using a pin drop via text message. Police actually went to the location, but they couldn't find Jason that day. However, they returned the next day on November 27th after they obtained a search warrant. They obtained surveillance footage from the complex which showed Jason leaving the property wearing a mask, but he also had a black cloth wrapped around his hand as if he had been injured somehow. The police used the My Chevy app to track the vehicle to the home of Jason's family in Nolensville, about 2 hours northwest of Chattanooga, where they actually took him into custody. While executing the search warrant, police found gruesome evidence. They found signs of altercation, broken glass, and traces of blood in the living room, bathroom, and bedroom, and other evidence which suggested that a violent altercation actually took place in that apartment. A forensic blood enhancer called Blue Star revealed more blood traces in several places around the apartment, suggestive of a potential attempt at cleaning up. Jason had actually recently bought cleaning supplies, and it's believed that he tried to scrub evidence and clean up the crime scene. It also seems that Jason used Jasmine's phone to send messages to make it look like she was alive whilst he was fleeing. Jason and Jasmine, they actually met on a dating app, and they had only been together for a few months before Jasmine vanished. He was a student at the University of Tennessee. According to some of Jason's former classmates, Jason actually did some really weird stuff. He had a habit of assuming the identity of other students online and then reaching out to others, apparently in the hopes of getting some personal info about them, all the while pretending to be their close friend. One of these classmates, Eddie Raymer, said that he felt like Jason was just trying to dig deeper and deeper into her life, and his personality just seemed really off. He wasn't good at social cues and any stuff like that. Although, it might not seem so out of the ordinary at first, his behavior and what he was doing online, I think that it's quite relevant in this case, because even though Jasmine's phone didn't show any activities in the days following her disappearance, her social media accounts were still active. A Facebook post from November 26th, which reads, "Enjoying Thanksgiving with my baby," was actually posted from Jasmine's account, but now it's believed that this was in fact posted by Jason himself. More so, this would have been very unusual for Jasmine, as she would spend Thanksgiving together with her family. Not only that, but if for any reason whatsoever she wouldn't be there, she would at least let her family know. On December the 1st, sadly, Jasmine's body was discovered along Sack Creek Road in Chattanooga. This discovery came one day after her boyfriend Jason was arrested and charged with first-degree murder in Jasmine's death. When he was arrested, it was discovered that his hand was covered in lacerations. So that's what he was trying to hide in the CCTV footage. You remember that he had this black cloth wrapped around his hand? Jason Chen was arrested and held without bond at the Silverdale Detention Center. According to the arrest affidavit, police found evidence that Jasmine was murdered in the apartment because of the blood volume in the apartment seen under the blue light, and further evidence showed that she was transported from the crime scene to another location. Padam, padam. That's my inspiration today. Jason made his first court appearance on December the 6th. Chattanooga defense attorney Josh Weiss is representing him. He had his bond hearing on December the 9th, during which the judge set the bond at $5 million. During the hearing, some horrific details came to light. Jasmine had been stabbed 60 times, 60, whilst she was being handcuffed, and then her remains were placed into trash bags, and then the bags were placed inside a suitcase. Jason allegedly bound Jasmine's ankles to her right wrist before stabbing her. So although I'm gonna say I haven't read this anywhere, I kind of assume that, or this leads me to believe that Jasmine was sadly dismembered before being disposed of. I have no idea what I'm doing, but maybe we'll come together at the end. If not, then we have a problem. My God, I look like the devil. Investigators said that they were able to determine that Jasmine was at Jason's apartment on Tremont Street in North Chattanooga at the time that she was killed through analysis of cell phones. Her car was there from 11:23 p.m. on November 22nd. The car stayed there until 8:28 p.m. the following day. From there, it went to Mountain Creek Road, the place where Jasmine's body was found. Katrina said that she actually pinged her daughter's phone at 2:13 a.m. on 23rd of November, and the phone was at the Tremont apartment. Investigators also said that after killing Jasmine, Jason went to a Walmart and a Walgreens to buy cleaning supplies. His apartment appeared clean, but after testing with a chemical, blood was detected in several areas of the apartment. They also found blood in the bathroom grout, as well as blood on the floor, which seeped through the carpet. They sent a sample of that blood and a toothbrush to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. A DNA test revealed that the blood was Jasmine's. Police also shared a photo of Jason Chen at the Signal Mountain Walmart, where detectives say that he bought several cleaning supplies, including a bath towel, several hand towels, bandages, and peroxide, but he actually checked some of these items out as asparagus. Now, I don't know how that works, if I'm honest with you, because maybe the checkout system is a bit different in the UK than it is in the US, in the sense of what you can do on your own when you are checking out yourself. But here in the UK, I know that you can actually choose yourself, you know, weight related items where you weigh them yourself on the scale from the checkout. So I'm not sure, but I've never tried to add something which was not the item I was buying, for obvious reasons. There is no need for that, right, when you are not trying to hide anything. So honestly, I'm not sure how that works, but it would be interesting to know, because then it would kind of make sense that he was working really hard to try and kind of hide everything that he did, including adding the towel as asparagus. Now, the police also shared evidence that Jason bought even more cleaning supplies at the Walgreens on North Market Street. Later that night, his cell phone data shows him driving and stopping along Sack Creek Road. That's where, like I said, police found the suitcase with Jasmine's body in it. So, you know, it pretty much looks like an open and shut case. I mean, you can clearly track him by his phone usage, and there is a pattern there. I mean, in the apartment under the blue light, you can clearly see that there was something happening there, and then, from my point of view, traces of her being dragged through that blood, and then she was taken, and then his phone pings there. So basically, you kind of have the whole route from his phone usage. So in my eyes, that's kind of like an open and shut case. Officers testified that 3 witnesses said they heard screams coming from Jason Chan's apartment, but when the defense asked if any of those witnesses called 911, the investigator said no. The defense also revealed that Jasmine's mother, Katrina, was let into Jason's apartment in the early morning hours of November 27th, and she removed some items. An investigator testified that Katrina was there with several family members. More than 2 family members entered that apartment. Oh, I managed to cover this somehow. He said that they took identification cards and personal items of Jasmine's, and officers later collected those items from Katrina's home. Jason's attorney asked to question Katrina Pace, but the judge denied their request, saying that he has seen enough already.
Blood spatters found in a young man's apartment led them to charge him with homicide in the case of missing 22-year-old Jasmine Pace. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield.
And I'm Josh Rowe. The suspect, Jason Chen, is now in the Hamilton County Jail without bond. He was booked this morning at the Williamson County Sheriff's Office, where his family has a home.
In the last hour, we obtained Chen's arrest affidavit that says those blood splatters were found in Chen's apartment when police went in with a search warrant. That apartment was the last place police say Pace was seen.
Hannah Mae has been following this story all day. Today's live outside the loft apartments where Chen lived. Hannah, what else did that arrest report reveal?
Josh, it's an update that Pace's family and friends are at a loss of words for. CPD's affidavit says they believe that Pace was murdered inside Jason Chen's apartment building just right behind me.
He currently is in custody and charges have been taken out for criminal homicide.
22-year-old Jasmine Pace was a missing person until District Attorney Cody Womp says the Chattanooga Police Department surfaced new evidence and an arrest affidavit reveals they found blood splatters and cleaning supplies in Chen's apartment.
The last known location that we have for Jasmine would be at Jason Chen's apartment.
CPD Detective Zachary Crawford says Chen and Pace had a short relationship, and the affidavit says Chen was seen on Walgreens surveillance video buying cleaning supplies. Their investigation determined large amounts of blood had been wiped away in the North Shore apartment. Pace's disappearance has caught the eye of social media as friends continue to post since neither Pace nor her body has been found.
Please stop scrolling and help me find my friend.
Now that Chen is in custody and charged, officials say they need the public's help.
Our main concern is Jasmine and where she is at. We will not stop until we find her. Any information that anybody has on the location, the whereabouts of Jasmine Pace.
Now, according to the affidavit, Chen had cuts on his right hand and his feet, showing that he was in an altercation. Chen is also currently being taken to Hamilton County Jail without bond. Reporting in Hamilton County, I'm Hannah Mae, News Channel 9.
According to an outside defense attorney, Bill Speak, who spoke with News 9, the police and the state of Tennessee won't be held responsible for the evidence that Katrina picked from Jason's apartment, but it does open up for defense attorneys an opportunity to see what happened to the evidence, if there is DNA involved, if there is fingerprints involved, you might get contamination. He said that when close family members of a victim are at the same crime scene where DNA is found, some attorneys will argue that the DNA didn't really come from the victim, but rather from that close family member. He also said, quote, "I'm sure at the time that this was happening, there was not thought of preserving evidence, but of locating a loved one. And I don't think people can be faulted for doing everything within their power to try to find somebody near and dear to them." End of quote. The hearing ended with Judge Larry Abels determining that there was enough probable cause for the case to go to trial. At the beginning of the hearing, there was discussion of a defense request for the body cameras of 5 Chattanooga police officers who investigated Jasmine Pace's death. The city of Chattanooga filed a motion to quash the request, saying that they didn't have time to produce the footage. Because of threats made to members of Jason Chen's family and the judge, after the last hearing, Judge Larry Abels announced at the beginning of the hearing that there was extra security in the courtroom. Streaming the hearing live was not allowed, and reporters in the courtroom were not able to share updates of the hearing as they happened.
Also tonight, we continue following a story that has gripped our area all week long. Police confirmed yesterday that the body of Jasmine Pace was found near Suck Creek Road. We covered that all afternoon. News Channel 9 Sam Pena has been following the story today. Sam, what have you learned from Jasmine's family and friends?
Yeah, Kim, Josh, social media posts all day continue to remember Jasmine Pace and ask for justice after her body was found near Suck Creek Road and the arrest of Jason Chen. Now, Chen lived in these apartments right here behind me, and we also know that Jasmine was with Chen right before she disappeared. In addition to that, this was her last known location as she sent a ping to her mother over text just a few days before Thanksgiving. The sweetest soul with the sweetest voice. That's how her family says they want Jasmine Pace to be remembered. Dozens of friends of family memorializing the 22-year-old whose body police found Thursday afternoon on Suck Creek. Described as the happiest girl you could meet, a beautiful woman, and an angel, the family now seeks justice after the arrest of UTC student Jason Chen. Police arrested and charged Chen with criminal homicide. One family member publicly called Chen calculated and accused him of using Jasmine's phone to send messages, pretending she was still alive and leaving town.
Charges have been taken out for criminal homicide in the county of Hamilton. The state of Tennessee is pursuing first-degree murder charges based on the evidence that we have at this time.
With Chen now in jail, we asked the DA's office if they plan to upgrade the charges now that they have Jasmine's body. In this affidavit, police say Jasmine's last known location was inside Chen's apartment, where they believe a violent altercation occurred, and police found bloodstains and broken glass. And we have yet to hear back from the DA's office on whether or not they plan to upgrade those charges. We do know that Chen's bond hearing is set for December 6th, and several family members have taken to social media asking people to show up in support of Jasmine and to urge the judge to continue his no bond order for Chen. Reporting live in Chattanooga, I'm Sam Pena, News Channel 9.
Jack Crawford, the lead detective in the case who saw Jason's apartment, actually said that it was the largest amount of blood he had ever seen at a crime scene. On February 16, 2023, following a lengthy hearing, Jason's case was bound over to the grand jury. General Sessions Court Judge Larry Abels kept the bond for Jason Chen at $5 million. The judge said that it was one of the largest bonds ever set in the court. The hearing ended with Judge Larry Abels determining there was enough probable cause for the case to go into the hands of the grand jury.
New info revealed at Jason Chen's preliminary hearing today. Chen charged with killing Jasmine Pace back in November.
Today, we learned about what police say Chen did shortly after the last time Jasmine was seen. Here's a timeline of what we learned from investigators today in court. November 22nd is the last day Katrina Pace, Jasmine's mother, says she saw her daughter. Investigators say that night Jasmine's car was at Chen's Tremont Street apartment.
Early the next morning around 2 a.m., Jasmine sends her mother a text with her location. That's the last known communication from Jasmine. Investigators say later that morning, Chen heads to Walmart and Walgreens, that is, for purchases like bandages and towels and peroxide.
Now, then on the night of that same day, Jasmine's car was found near Mountain Creek Road, which is not too far from Suck Creek Road, where police say Jasmine's body was found on December 1st. News Channel 9's Sam Pena has more on what investigators testified about in court.
3 months after being arrested for the murder of Jasmine Pace, Jason Chen is now set to face a grand jury. This after new evidence and pictures from inside of Chen's apartment paint a picture of the night police say Jasmine Pace was killed.
Would this represent blood evidence in Mr. Chen's apartment?
At first glance, it's a clean apartment, but a closer look reveals a disturbing story.
Specifically in that corner is going to be visible blood that is in the grout of the tiles.
Homicide investigator Zach Crawford says these photos were taken inside the apartment of Jason Chen, where police believe Jasmine Pace was killed.
I've never seen the amount of Blue Star reagent that I have until this case.
Crawford says detectives used the chemical Blue Star, which glows to reveal blood. He says DNA testing showed over 1 liter of blood on the bathroom, bedroom, and kitchen floor in Chen's apartment, all belonging to Jasmine Pace.
If this blood matter belonged to one individual, would it likely be survivable?
No.
Prosecutors then showed this picture, which police say shows Chen at a Signal Mountain Walmart, buying towels, bandages, and peroxide, but ringing them up as...
He then logs them as asparagus.
Investigators also walked through Chen's cell phone data, which they say tracked him to a stop on Suck Creek Road, where police found a suitcase.
What was in that bag?
Jasmine Pace.
Defense questioning revealed that Jasmine's mother, Katrina, made her way into Chen's apartment on the 27th and took several of Jasmine's items and Chen's banking records.
We heard about those documents and those things that were collected by the family. We then went and recovered those items.
From where?
From her residence, Katrina Pace's residence.
Chen's attorney attempted to argue that Katrina contaminated and tampered with evidence at the scene.
Defense calls Katrina Pace.
But the judge denied the request to question her.
We will not hear from the witness.
Saying he'd seen enough to send Chen before a grand jury.
The proof speaks for itself, Your Honor.
In Chattanooga reporting, I'm Sam Pena, News Channel 9.
We have the full timeline of events leading up to Jason Chen's arrest and the search for Jasmine Pace on our website, newschannel9.com.
Jason's attorney asked for a new preliminary hearing, claiming that Hamilton County District Attorney Cody Wamp's office didn't turn over body camera footage to dispute probable cause. They also told the judge that the court should have allowed the defense to cross-examine Jasmine Pace's mother, Katrina. Jason's attorney also asked that he be declared indigent because his family had run out of money to afford him as an attorney on their own. Attorneys representing Jason had filed a motion to vacate the indictment and conduct a new preliminary hearing. They argued that some evidence presented at his first preliminary hearing may have been obtained illegally. It comes after the defense revealed that Jasmine Pace's mother took evidence from the scene, as I said before, the police could investigate what happened. The state argued that the motion should be denied. At the end of March, Jason Chen was indicted on 2 counts: first-degree premeditated murder and also abuse of a corpse. The judge moved the court date to June 26th of this year. The latest I could find about this case is that a judge declared Jason Chen indigent, saying that his family has run out of funds to afford the cost of his entire defense. This means that Jason Chen can no longer afford to pay for legal services such as expert witnesses and legal experts. His attorney Josh Weiss said that he will still be able to afford to pay his attorney fees, and anything else will be paid for by the State Indigent Fund, which is paid for by taxpayers.
Accused of brutally murdering Jasmine Pace appeared in court today. The judge declared Jason Chen indigent. Now that means Chen has run out of money to pay for his defense. Liam Collins was there and has the latest update on the case.
It was a short but tense hearing Tuesday, just a week after what would have been Jasmine Pace's 23rd birthday. Jason Chen's defense attorney said his family ran out of money to pay for most of his legal services and argued that his constitutional rights were violated during his January preliminary hearing.
Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Appearing in court Tuesday, ankles-bound Jason Chen was officially declared indigent. His attorney said his family had exhausted all funds they could provide for his legal strategy since he was arrested in December.
Mr. Chen his family has run out of funds. At this point, after being in custody for 7 months, he is no longer able to afford the cost of the defense, including expert services.
Chen's attorney, Josh Weiss, said Chen will continue to pay for his services on his own, but the cost for experts and witnesses will be covered by Tennessee's Indigent Service Fund, paid for by taxpayer dollars.
And that basically levels the playing field between the state and the defense, because the state has all those things.
Jerry Tidwell is a criminal defense attorney with no connection to the case.
Oftentimes in serious homicide cases, the courts will appoint an investigator to assist.
Weiss is also preparing to argue that Chen was not given a fair preliminary hearing before he was officially indicted. Weiss was not allowed to question Jasmine Pace's mother at the hearing. He wanted to ask her about the timeline of her entering Chen's apartment before Chen's arrest. In the filing, the attorney said he could have used body camera video to possibly prove that evidence was obtained illegally. In the state's response, District Attorney Cody Wamp said Pace's mother was not subpoenaed by the defense and her testimony would be irrelevant to the issue of probable cause, adding that her attorney said she would not answer any questions if she was called to testify and would assert her Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Weiss said he wasn't ready to argue that on Tuesday.
The state's ready to argue this motion today. The state received the motion at least 6 weeks ago. The state filed a response. I don't know why we wouldn't litigate it today. We're ready to proceed.
Well, I want both sides to be ready.
That argument will be heard on Monday, June 26th, and attorneys say they're still preparing to go to trial next year. Reporting from the Hamilton County Courthouse, Liam Collins, Local 3 News.
The medical examiner testified at Chen's bond hearing that she had been stabbed at least 60 times. Earlier this year, Prosecutors laid out evidence of a large amount of blood reagent inside of Chen's apartment and security camera video that showed Chen rolling a suitcase out of his apartment before police were able to track his phone to the location where Pace was later found.
Family member of Jasmine's publicly called Jason Chen calculated, accusing him of using Jasmine's phone to send text messages pretending she was still alive as he was fleeing town. A vigil was held in Jasmine's honor on December the 5th, in which her family and friends spoke of what she meant to them. More than 100 people gathered at Coolidge Park on Monday night, gathering to celebrate and mourn the life of Jasmine Pace. One by one, family members and friends of Jasmine's took a microphone and told stories of her infectious smile and contagious laughter. Many wore purple t-shirts printed with a picture of Jasmine and #Justice for Jazzy. Jasmine's grandmother said that Jasmine forgave and loved with her heart. Those who knew her said that she was always singing and she seemed to know every single lyric. She was fiery, spunky, fierce, and never afraid. But she was also caring, always going out of her way to let loved ones know that she was thinking of them. One friend said that Jazzy would bring her favorite food from cookout to her on lunch breaks. Another friend recalled her showing up for dinner with a crate of wine in tow. Kimberly Halgan, who used to work with Jasmine at an Italian restaurant, said, quote, "She was always there for us, so I felt like this was the last thing I could do to be there for her." End of quote. One of Jasmine's cousins said that when her house burned, she called Jazzy. There were no injuries from the fire, but Jazzy twisted her ankle from sprinting off her porch just to get there as fast as she could. If you needed her, she would come running. Jasmine Pace's story went nationwide, according to her sister Gabrielle Pace, and brought attention to other similar cases. Several people at the vigil said that they were there to support the family and to spread awareness about domestic violence. Travis Pace, Jasmine's father, said that even though Jasmine is gone, her light continues through us to finish her job to keep making it a bright place.
She had with each and every one of us. And we just thank you for that. And most of all, Father, we thank you for your sovereign will, that in the midst of the storm, in the darkest hour, that God, you are present and you are the ever-present help in all of our needs.
It really is heartbreaking what happened to Jasmine Pace, to be killed in such a vicious and violent way by the man who is meant to love you and protect you. For me, that is just unspeakable. And I have to say that it was Katrina, Jasmine's mother, who actually solved her daughter's murder. And I can also say that it was Jasmine as well who solved her own murder because of the pin drop that she sent via text messages to her mom. That's why I always say, and I've been going through a lot of experiences of my own lately, and obviously I can't talk about it because there are some legal things and I'm not allowed to talk about it, but that's why I always say never trust entirely the police, lawyers, anyone who is meant to help you or defend you, because no one, and I mean it when I say it, no one apart from you will fight as hard for you or your loved ones as you do. And no one knows you or your loved ones better than you do. At the end of the day, all of these professionals, they are doing their jobs and then they get to go home. But for you, when you are in a horrific circumstance, that is your life, not your job, and no one will fight harder for you than you. Thank you guys so much for staying with me today. Please do let me know what do you think about this case in the comment section down below, and also do let me know if do you think that this makeup look turned out okay. I'm not sure what to think. On one hand, I feel like I kind of like it, but then maybe I feel like maybe it's too much. I don't know. Please guys, do let me know what do you think in the comments below. I'm looking forward to reading all of your comments. For now, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.